2, 1, beep. I'm just trying to make sure my lips are in sync with the sound. They're a little off. Hello, my name is Dharmamitra Jeff Stefani, and I'm just doing a little test as well as giving you all a personal welcome to my new blog, which is dharmamitra.org, http:// whatever a regular slash is. Is that a backslash? It goes back if you start at the top, but then it goes forward if you start at the bottom. But I'm going to call it a backslash. // Dharmamitra, DHARMAMITRA.org. Dharma Mitra. That means friend of the Dharma, friend of the truth, friend of the teaching, the transcendental truth. And I'm going to start video blogging because I do a lot of instructional videos about how to meditate, walking meditations, pujas, dropping pebbles. If you scroll way down, you'll see that I have several of them posted. And some of them are kind of longer, but I'm trying to get into a habit of, words convey, period. They convey what they convey. Speech conveys what it conveys, and obviously there's no substitute for person-to-person contact. But I lived in a community for men that requested ordination into the Western Buddhist order, and I lived there for about 5 years, and we all lived together. We worked together. We ran a restaurant, a vegetarian Indian restaurant in Missoula, Montana, called Tipu's Tiger. And we lived together at our men's community called Sangha, and we all requested ordination and were made mitras. And without giving you the whole story, that was 15 years ago, and I've maintained a meditation practice and spiritual practice, but since then, about almost 10 years ago now, not that long ago, 9 years ago or something, I moved back to Michigan, and there's no centers around here. There's Buddhist centers, but not all Buddhist centers are created equally, and in fact, there's more variety between the different sects of Buddhism. Oh, there's my co-host, Jewel. Hey, Jewel Bean, say hi. She hates cameras. She just knows there's a camera. There's as much variety between the and difference between the sects of Buddhism as there is between Christianity, between Episcopalians and Seventh-day Adventists. So there's tremendous variety between Chan and Zen and the different Zen schools and the Tibetan and Western schools and Theravada and so on and so forth. The point of all that is, and I'm refraining from going off on multiple tangents because each one of those could turn into an hour-long talk, or explanation, I should say, because I really want this to be a dialogue, and that's why I started the blog, so people can respond and we can get to know each other. And since I moved back to Michigan, my Mahasangha, the greater community that I belong to, my congregation, as is an apropos term, is primarily in Europe and in India, primarily the UK and scattered around Europe. And at least half of the order is in India. And then some on the east coast of the U.S. and some on the west coast of the U.S., with very little in between. except for Missoula, Montana, where I got involved, and now I'm in Detroit, Michigan. So I'm a lone ranger. And so I turned to the internet after having another spiritual awakening, another big breakthrough, known as breaking the first three fetters, where one enters the stream. And it's something I hoped and prayed for and thought would be my idealistic dream my whole life. And lo and behold, when I was down at my worst and I wasn't considering suicide, it was just a matter of figuring out how to do it most effectively while causing the least harm. If that's not a little bit of an oxymoronic statement. But I was really down and out. And in my intense misery, I cracked. I did not have a mental breakdown. I had an egoic breakdown. And I experienced insight. The technical way of describing it in Buddhism is insight into the true nature of reality. I realized that these flowers and that Buddha Rupa behind me and myself, me, Jeff, Dharmamitra, Jeff Stefani, who I think I am, what I think I am, or even I am, none of that's real. I saw that there's a fluctuation of currents going on, and they intermingle at a point in place and time, and that is what I call me. But they're all changing. They're, the body and the mind and the heart mind and the object of the mind and our perception of what the mind is. And they're called skandhas, which means heaps in Sanskrit. Skandhas is Sanskrit, which means heaps in English. I love having fun with words, and that's really all I want to do is try to break the ice. And I want to try to keep this short, and I'm also testing the sound. So it's just my way of saying hello, a way to get to know me, and hopefully y'all will let me get to know you, because after having this breakthrough, immediately with the arising of this wisdom, of this insight, when you realize that, there is no separation, there is no me, subject-object dichotomy, there is no me, there is no you, ultimately. In reality, there's just a fluctuation of dharmas or factors. Dharmas with a lowercase d. Dharma has like 87 different meanings in Sanskrit, Buddhist Sanskrit. Dhamma in Pali. Excuse me. Take a little sip of my water. And so we're all made up of these factors, and nothing is permanent. If you took a time-lapse photography of anything, any place, anyone, you would see it slowly change and deteriorate. And, that statue, Buddha Rupa, as it's called, which means, Rupa means form. The form, that form of the Buddha, or Buddha statue of the Buddha, which is made out of a wood, would be dust if you took time-lapse photography. And likewise with me. And so to think that I'm a permanent, fixed entity, or that I'm separate, I'm made of stardust and the same atoms and electrons that make up my mind, that make up my eye, make up the projection of what my eye sees. And when I'm looking, I see it as solid, and when I'm not looking, it might be a wave. But I don't want to get into too much quantum physics, although I'm also a scientist, some by trade and some by self-education, which is the scariest kind. But I'm all about accepting the fact that everything is exactly the way it should be, absolutely perfect as it is in this very moment. And all there is this very moment. Whoops, you went dark. Or I went dark. See, it's little things on words, my perception. You went dark, but that was me, or was it me? Because I'm watching me. Or are you watching me? But when you're watching this, it won't be me. But it'll still be now. Huh? Yeah, exactly. I've also undergone true psychoanalysis 5 days a week, and been practicing various spiritualities. Got involved with Marianne Williamson and Deepak Chopra and Wayne Dyer about 21 years ago, and kept searching and searching until I found a class taught by a Buddhist on Buddhism that included a meditation aspect. And when I started doing that, I excelled, and I had exalted states of consciousness and dhyanas and so on and so forth, without getting technical or trying to say that this is what I am and you should respect that or whatever. That's not what this is about. And if I stray that way, please set me straight, because I need it as much as everyone else. I can only keep what I have by giving it away, which is a 12-step saying. I'm also sober. I bring a lot of things, life experience to the table, but most of all, I'm just me, and I have been overcoming my fears, and my greatest fear is of success. So a year from now, instead of looking back and saying, boy, I wish I would have started video blogging a year ago, I'm going to say, man, I sure am glad I started video blogging a year ago. That's my fear of success. But today, successful or failure don't exist. Ultimately, only truth. And I am determined to continue on the path. I've made tremendous progress. I've entered the stream. Means I can't fall back, but could take 7 more lifetimes to be a Buddha, according to historical Dharma. So, welcome. And there was one other thing I wanted to say, which I'm forgetting. I just hope that we can all come together and have some type of dialogue, some type of interaction, because I'm not alone here in Michigan, but I certainly don't have the level of spiritual friendships that I find actually online, or that I already know who are people that I already know who are scattered around the world. So in order to maintain those and cultivate new ones and find ones close to home, I am throwing myself out there, standing before you all naked. Well, this is as naked as I'm going to get today, but emotionally, mentally, everything's fair game. And with that, I thank you for watching, bless you, and welcome to my video blog. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Namah, Om Ahung. Thank you very much. Blessings. Buddha blessings and love to all.